everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well and I hope you are loving the ocean series as much as I am. I definitely feel like there's been more of an organic flow between videos and each video leads on to the next video, another idea and another idea. Today's is no different. Are molds I've never used before, things I've not tried before, and I am in love with the results. So I hope you do too. I hope you do too. I hope you are too. And can you tell it's like 300 degrees here and I'm not coping. Anyway, enjoy the video and I will speak to you at the end. So the molds I am using in this video are by Let's Resin. You would have seen these in previous unboxing videos on my channel. I'm actually using two different sphere sizes. We've got the large and the smaller one. They are proper sphere molds, so they do come with tops, but for the purposes of this video I'm not making spheres. I'm actually just making like semi-spheres in the bottom halves. Is that because I'm too chicken to make a sphere? Yep. Yeah, I'll admit it. I've also got the cube mold and the mini pyramid mold, and yeah, I just knew exactly what I wanted to do with them, and these are just perfect sizes. I'm actually gonna try and float my silicone inlays in these pieces. Now, the resin I'm using, I have to state this very clearly, for demonstration purposes only, is Vista Turbo. Now, Vista Turbo is not ideal resin for this kind of clearness because I didn't have time to, you don't really have much time to leave it sitting there to heat up and get rid of some air bubbles because it's a fast curing resin. This resin cures in 5 hours, so usually when I use this resin, I'm using it with colorant added, and that's when you don't see the bubbles. But I'm afraid we do not get away with that in this video. There are definitely some bubbles. So if you are thinking of going on to create what you see in this video, definitely use like Vista Cascade or Vista Ocean. They take 24 hours to cure, therefore the bubbles will be a lot less. Yeah, I did my best. I used my heat gun to go into each mold and blast out as many of those air bubbles as I could see, and there were little tiny air bubbles trapped at the bottom of that pyramid that I went down with a cocktail stick and just kind of dislodged the air bubbles down there. But again, this resin works really well for me when I'm demonstrating in a video because I can get the whole project done in a day. First layer cures in 5 hours and the second layer cures in the same. So it's a really fast curing resin. Now, my thought processes were, I wanted to float my silicone inlays. So that meant that if I put them in straight away, there's a risk that they'll sink, and I really don't want that. I can't risk them getting trapped inside the resin. And you'll see here, I'm just coating my silicone inlays with a layer of resin just to get into the detail. Now you'll see here the first time the one on the right actually sank, the fins, the turtle fins sank down into the resin, so I just took it back out again. I figured I would come up around 10 minutes later and hopefully that the resin had thickened up and then I could actually get it back again. So with this cube, I don't know, I was toying with the idea of resting the cube at an angle so we'd get like this diagonal design going on, but really, yeah, I was a bit too worried about the depth of that inlay. Luckily that inlay is deep, so it's not floating, it's sitting on the bottom of the cube. So this was about 10 minutes later I came up just to try and float that turtle again, and luckily it did. It floated, it didn't sink at all, but I did make quite a mess. So I'm just kind of delicately, gently cleaning this surface off with the cotton buds. So yeah, you can see that some of them are floating, some of them aren't. And I was so happy. I think with the pyramid one, the starfish kind of touches the edges, so that was lucky. It kind of stops it from sinking. So far, so happy. So this is around 3.5 to 4.5 hours later. I don't really need to wait until this resin is totally and utterly cured at this point. Just cured enough to be able to remove my inlays to pour the next layer, and I'm already loving the detail. I'm loving how much detail there is in this silicone, and it is at this point I can see bubbles. I can see a bazillion micro bubbles in this resin because again, I didn't leave it to heat up. I didn't leave it at all to try and get rid of any of those bubbles. I could have heated the resin before using it, but I didn't do it, guys. So we have to just look past the bubbles. Look past the bubbles and just know that it is ocean and it's okay. Again, yeah, I don't know. I'm justifying myself, aren't I now? You can hear me trying to justify myself. But look at this. Look at this detail. I'm absolutely loving it. Really, really, really happy. So you know what's next. I had to go in with the Let's Resin Chameleon Powders. Now, all of the details for Let's Resin is in the description box below, or will be in the description box below. There is a 10% discount for you over at Let's Resin across the UK and USA site. And that includes the powders, that includes the moulds, the resin, everything. So go check that out. The Chameleon powders really are my favourite. And if you've been with me a while, you would have seen me use these Chameleon powders over and over again because they're gorgeous and they are my faves. So it is very similar to the cling film stroke polyurethane technique. I don't actually use cling film. I don't think it works very well at all, but I use polyurethane. So this is very, very similar to that technique, really. You peel back your item and then you dust the surface with your powders, your mica powders or your chameleon powders. Doesn't have to be chameleon. You can use normal mica powders for this as well. What I did decide to do was actually bring the chameleon powder up around the walls, around the side of the mould, because I thought if I'm pouring black resin on the back of that turtle, I don't want the base of this piece to be black. I want the base of this piece to be that gorgeous chameleon blue. The colours I'm using in this video are the chameleon blue and the chameleon teal. I do in fact have a little experiment and try other colours, but you will see that shortly. Exactly the same principle with the starfish. I love these starfish so much. The detail in this inlay. Now, granted, I actually bought a bag of cheap, really cheap, poorly coloured sea creatures from Amazon. So they're not the best. They're really not the best. And honestly, it was really only the turtle and the starfish that were good enough to imprint. Everything else was just meh. And I don't even know what I'm going to do with them at this point because, yeah. Anyway, I'm doing exactly the same with the starfish and I'm going up to right to the very top of the pyramid mould so that when we demould, the bottom of the pyramid has also got that gorgeous chameleon colour shifting powder. And yeah, just carry on until all 4 moulds are done. I think I was most excited about the spheres, the semi-spheres. I don't know what it is. I know we're making paperweights here, guys, or decorative pieces. And I know paperweights are like way gone. Like nobody really uses them anymore. But there used to be some beautiful like sphere glass paperweights with the most beautiful things inside. And I used to wonder how they made those, you know, but that's why I'm excited for the spheres because I just think it's the most aesthetically pleasing kind of shape. The cube, not so much. The cube did not fill me with joy. I decided to go outside of my comfort zone with colour and I wish I never did. Sometimes you want to push yourself, but then sometimes you're just happy. You're comfortable staying within your colour range. Everyone who knows me on here knows blue is my colour, not mine. I don't own it, but blue is my colour. I am so in love with blue, every shade of blue, teal, turquoise, aqua, you name it, blue, blue, blue. So why then did I go for these colours? I have no idea. I decided to colour the shell in this kind of, yeah, orangey pink colour shifting. Now the powder itself is gorgeous, does the job, but yeah, in hindsight, if I did this again, I would stick to those blues. I really don't know what I was thinking. I went in with some blue, I went in with some orange, and I ended up using the Galaxy. Even though they're gorgeous powders, I was not loving the colours at all. Blue all the way. So I am mixing in some Vista black liquid pigment into my Vista Turbo resin to fill these up, and yeah, all I do is make sure that they are filled right to the very top. And this is what I mean with Vista Turbo. If you've got a colour in there and there are bubbles, you'll never know. you'll never know. And that's what I like. You kind of like hiding it all under the surface. But I do go slowly. When I fill up these, I just pour the resin quite slowly so that it gets into all of the nooks and crannies of the details of your inlays. And I think that is really important as well, because if you just swish it in there, I don't know, there's a risk that an air pocket will form, and you don't want an air pocket inside your finished piece. But I already knew at this point that I did not like this one. I didn't like it, and I just was mad at myself for going off track. Like, what is wrong with 4 blue pieces? Nothing. But I thought, you know what, Claire, just be different, live a little, use different colours, and oh my gosh, the demold. I feel like I need a drum roll here. Are you ready? Like, are you ready for this? The edges, the sides, beautiful. And oh my gosh. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. I'm more disturbed at the reflection of my face right now, like this resin is playing me, because no, try and ignore my reflection. It's really hard to catch this on camera. There is light hitting this at every angle, and no matter where I went in the room, I was still getting so much reflection on this resin because these molds are super shiny, which means we've got a really, really reflective surface. So it's just the angle, you know, guys, the under the chin angle, it's not very flattering. So please ignore that in all kind of, you know, upcoming demolds. For the pyramid, I thought it was best to use a method that I'd seen on Wendy Toompish Crafts channel, and that is to use alcohol. And oh wow, they just pop straight out. And I am, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. I am obsessed. There's no other word for it. There's no other word for it. Besotted is the other word that I like to use nowadays, because I tend to do that a lot as well. Look at this. Look at this. The actual reflection when you look in this pyramid, because I've used that Chameleon powder, it's almost become a mirror, and I'm looking in there and I'm seeing like 5, 6 starfish all at once, and I am head over heels with this. Again, I'm sure this technique has been done before. I'm not sitting here saying, you know, I'm the first person to ever float inlays in resin, but I love it. I absolutely love it. The colour choice was bang on. So this is the teal and the blue Chameleon powder from Let's Resin. They are my go-to blues. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. And at this point, I just couldn't stop looking at it. I could have just filmed it for ages. Okay, now, are we ready? Are we ready for the project that never should have been? I do not know. Oh, remind me not to go out of my comfort zone sometimes, and just know myself and know my gut feeling and know what I want to do, and all I want to do is what I want to do. This is awful. I'm so sorry if you love it. I'm telling you in advance, this is awful, because I genuinely do not like it. I do not like it. I am sorry if you do. There are a billion micro bubbles trapped around that inlay, despite the work that I did to get the resin on there. Can you see how much time I spent looking at that? Not much. This is the last one, and guys, this is the turtle, and I just love it. I love it. It does remind me of a paperweight. It reminds me of a glass paperweight. Excuse the reflection of my double chin, but I love it. I love it so much. Mistakes were absolutely made in this video. I have so many bubbles. They would be so beautiful if I just had more patience and went with a resin that took a lot longer to cure. But like I said, for demonstration purposes, hopefully the idea of the video has come across, and despite my results, you also feel inspired to try something similar, because this turtle is a dream. And I know some of you did mention as well in my cling film video where I actually embossed these about, you know, so much detail does still come through when you use that cling film, and that is the beauty of the technique. But guys, I love these. I utterly love these. I'm so tempted to make a giant pyramid, but I just feel like that would just be selfish of me. Like that's so much resin. I've already done it. Like the principle is there. The results would be just like this one, but on a much bigger scale. And yeah, I'm still not selling my stuff, so but the feeling that I want to go massive and make a huge pyramid is really strong. It's really strong. Let me know if I should do that. I know you're all going to say yes. Anyway, I hope you absolutely love this as much as I've loved making it. I think, you know, bubbles aside, that's just human error. That really is just human error. Bubbles aside, I think they are absolutely stunning. I will finish them off by sanding all of the bottoms down and adding a self-adhesive cork base just to make them nice and neat, and they can sit on your shelf and do what they need to do. I don't think the bubbles take away from them. I think they're gorgeous in their own right. Let me know which one is your favourite, which shape is your favourite. I am so drawn to that pyramid, but aesthetically I do like the spheres, the semi-spheres. Hopefully one day I will be brave enough to attempt a whole sphere. Unfortunately, because the ones I've got, the hole at the top is so small, you couldn't really do this method. Wouldn't be able to get the inlay down in there, if that makes sense. But I don't know what's possible. Who knows? Anyway, I hope you have loved this, and I appreciate you all very, very much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!